Welcome back to the Deep Digger Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host, right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Today we are jumping into a whole bunch of topics. Court storming, under fire. Some quarterbacks are on the move. The 49ers are interviewing for their defensive coordinator spot. But before we dig into any of that, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and drop some comments below. It really does help us out.
Yeah, and I know we're going to start with some college basketball here. March Madness is coming up. I did go to the Stanford women's college basketball game the other day. It was a great time. It was like 15 bucks for a ticket on game time. Uh, I'm just saying, I feel really good about Stanford's women's team in the tournament. Cameron Brink dominating the boards, dominating assists, dropping dimes. So looking forward to seeing her ball out in the tournament. Yeah, if you're in the Bay, go check out a game. We parlayed that and we went to the baseball game right after for like $2. Sat right behind home plate. Great time. They hit a grand slam, but
Ooh,
yeah, college sports. It's elite. You can just walk to the next place. Um, but yeah, court storming. A lot of things under fire here. Go ahead and tell us what happened with Duke.
lost a lot of good men out there.
Hey, it's a war zone out there sometimes.
Apparently, to some of these real like Jay Billis and some of these other elites, court storming needs to be banned. All of these kids need to be arrested on site. Let them onto the court, surround them,
Criminals.
pepper spray them, shoot them in the head, all that good stuff. So,
Maybe don't make a shooting joke about a school.
Wake Forest took on Duke. Wake Forest was borderline going to make the tournament. They actually haven't. They've, I think, been once in the last 12 years. They end up pulling it out. I know some people are not calling it an upset because they were the favorites in this game, but still, anytime an underdog program can beat a blue blood, it's exciting. The team or the crowd storms the court afterwards. If you would, when you'd be excited about your team basically locking down a top 10 or beating a top 10 opponent, locking down your invitation to the tournament. They stormed the court. In it, Kyle Filipowski for Duke. It gets ran into, and then someone else pushes him in the back. Upon further review, it looks like Kyle Filipowski did reach out his arm, reached out his leg to trip, and ended up tweaking
You're
it a
throwing
little bit. And then
allegedly. You're speculating there.
I am speculating, but the discourse was just on a whole nother level. We've seen it with Caitlin Clark. Court storming needs to be banned. The person that hit Caitlin Clark needs to be arrested. This is ridiculous. It could have ruined this. What could have happened? Same thing happened with Duke, but a whole nother level. Jay Billis goes on and is like, hey, this is ridiculous. We should have, if there's no reason for fans to be on the court. It was just taken to a whole nother level. And we are seeing court storming just under fire these last few
It,
days.
it's kind of crazy because like Duke's not the same program, like dominant program they were that we know of. Like, I mean, there's not really like a really top heavy dominant college team right now. Yeah, the history is there, but are we really gonna be like, oh, if Kentucky in football beats Florida's football team, we're like storming the field? It's like this isn't the Tebow Florida team, you know? Like I question in the regular season, is this court storming really valid? I'm not trying to take away the hype for their win, but like, what are we doing here? It's the regular season. Let's get a tournament win. We get a tournament win. I'm all for the court storm.
That's the thing, though. With this win, it did punch their ticket to the tournament. So it's basically like an extra tournament win, if you want to count it that. Like the crowd was so hyped to get into this. And again, Wake is a small school in conjunction to the blue blood Duke. And so realistically, anytime Duke loses, I would storm that fucking court. Like, and how many times realistically in your collegiate career are you going to be able to storm the court? And so it's like it's a pretty rare occasion to begin with.
It,
So
it should be a special, like a
and it
really,
was
really
special. You
special.
beat Duke to
I
punch
guess.
your ticket to
I
go to the
guess.
NCAA
They had like
tournament.
six. They had like 6, 7 losses on season. We doing 10 court storms a year.
Yes, 100%. Anytime Duke gets beat, storm that court, baby.
All right.
Storm it.
Well, so I think there is an etiquette to the court storm though. Like hey, did it come down to the final seconds? Was it a buzzer beater? It's like if you know you're gonna win, hey, you can let your bench players go ahead and get up out of there, and we'll like secure. And if you're a fan coming onto the court, you try your best to like form that bubble around the other players, like maneuver around it. These guys didn't give a fuck. I'll give them that. They said fuck Duke, we're gonna run right into them. I don't know about the stepping into it. I think when you have people coming at you fast, you kind of do that step, and you're like, okay, which way are you going now?
He like extended himself to make
Yeah,
contact.
that's what I'm saying. You do a step because you're like, I need to know if
No,
I'm
it
going
wasn't a
left or right.
sidestep. He literally stepped in front. Like,
Yo,
here's
when
him.
there's
This way.
live ammo coming at you, when there's live bullets flying at you, you don't know what you're doing, you know?
I don't know, dude. I think you knew exactly what you're doing. You were trying to trip a Wake Forest kid.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Do you think this was intentional on the fans' end, on the players' end? Are you with court storming? Are we giving up on it for like would you say we need to regulate this or we're done with this? Like, do you think there's actually measures that need to get put into place?
No, because what has happened? Nothing's happened.
He
Like
got hurt.
literally, both instances, I think the fan got fucked up more than the player. And if Kyle Filipowski afterwards come out and says like, "Hey, you know what? Honestly, yeah, I got a little excited. I got a little scared. I tweaked my my leg on the way out. But hey, it is what it is. I'm fine. I'm 100% fine. Cool." But what he did afterwards was say, "I think it was personal. I felt like it was very, very personal, and I felt the push on my back." And it's like, well, yeah, it's a pretty normal thing when you see like a huge dude push over the Wake Forest kid, your alumni, your partner in this in the court storm. You see him get pushed by a Duke player, so you give him a little shove back.
Here's my solution, because I do get a little annoyed when like the football teams take down the field goal post and we're like running it down to the river.
That's
Uh,
fucking awesome.
I don't know. It's a little extra, and like people can get hurt. There's like you're causing the scene here. But I watched the Liverpool game, the Liverpool Chelsea game. You know what they do after they win? It's like an hour of both teams walking through each stand in the stadium and like high fiving fans, or you're like getting shamed. You have to like go through all of the crowd, and then they line them all up at like the top of the balcony or whatever, and then they each player holds up the trophy, and it's like an hour of rubbing it in. It's like an hour of we fucking beat you, and you have to go answer to your fans to their face that we beat you. And so I want to implement that in all of college sports, in the NFL. I want to high five Brock Purdy every time he wins a game. That would be amazing.
Okay, so you're proposing fans don't go to the court, but the
Bring
court
the court.
comes to them.
Yes.
That's more dangerous. That's inviting more people because
Here's the thing, though.
realistically,
Like
all that towards the
Europeans
court
have a
is the
more.
student section. Like, so
We need to
essentially,
develop that level of etiquette where the fans are not going to want to fight the players. We can do another Malice in the Palace, but like, hey, if
I
we do
think
this
that
every
would
game,
incite a malice. Imagine if you're on the road and you do that.
I mean, yeah,
You're
no, home
inviting
teams
like
only. Home teams only.
you go into the jungle at Auburn, you beat the shit out of Auburn, who is known to have one of the like rowdiest crowds, and then you have to spend an hour rubbing it in their face. No.
No, home team only. Home team only.
Then all right, then it's unfair. Then you don't get the bask.
If you lose at home though, you still have to walk through.
I don't know about that. See, then I think again, one of the rowdiest crowds, you get them all hyped up and then you lose and now you have to sit in front of these people for an hour. I don't know about that.
I believe in America. I
I
believe
don't.
that these
I
fans
don't. Just
can
storm the
sit
court.
there in their seat and
See, I'm a big proponent of court storming. I think that one, the students pay the school to be there. You are literally like you're on the same level as these athletes because you're all students there. You all have one cause. And realistically, the difference between college sports and professional sports is you feel like you've added to this program because you're here at this school, because you're attending, because you've cheered. And so when you get the win against a Duke and punch your ticket into the NCAA tournament, you deserve to be on that court because you're a tuition paying student who is equal. I'm going to the same classes as this guy. I'm going to the same bars as this guy. Maybe we're roommates, things like that. I deserve to be on that court too.
Well, I mean, we talked about it. Let's get into some NFL now because I mean, let's storm some of these news stories in the NFL because Russell Wilson, Sean Payton came out. He's over there talking about we're gonna have a decision in a week or so about Russell Wilson, what we're gonna do with him. People are saying, possibly Russ can stay. There's no way that Russ is gonna stay on that team at that cap number. What are you feeling is next for Russell Wilson?
See, it doesn't matter if they want him to stay at that cap number. They've asked him to rework his deal. There's no way in hell that's going to happen. They are going to have to pay, no matter what, his cap hit. Like, that's going to happen. And he's already told teams that he will play for the vet minimum next year. If you can get a starting level quarterback at the vet minimum because it's on the Broncos' dime, they're going to be paying his old contract. Why not take a flyer on it? And I did see that the Steelers, I think, were the favorites going into this, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of teams interested just because of that number. If you can get him on the vet minimum, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I believe Florio came out and said Steelers said that they don't want to bring in a quarterback with starting experience to compete with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph, which is ridiculous. So they're kind of trying to play it like they're out on all these guys, on the Justin Fields and Russell Wilson of it all. I don't know what to believe at this point, but I mean, Tomlin's out there rolling Mason Rudolph out in to try to make a playoff run last year. So I would believe that he's like, I can do it with these guys.
I just don't know why you would cut off like that option. Kenny Pickett sucks. I mean, I think we both know, like, I'm not a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm not a big Kenny Pickett fan. I think you can't roll that out again. But to roll back Mason Rudolph, we have already seen Mason Rudolph is just a viable backup, which is fine. But if you can get a starting caliber quarterback in Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, why wouldn't you do that? Why are you taking that off the table? I just think right now this is prime lying season, and you're hoping to drive away like, oh yeah, we're not interested. You guys shouldn't be interested either, and drive down those options so that you can get them for a 5th round pick, like just something credible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and coming back to the Broncos, I think where Sean Payton fucked up is his ego. Like right after the season, being like, "Yeah, Russell's done. Like he's gone." And then having to deal with the details of it. Like, okay, shit, if we cut him, he's gonna go play for someone else, and we got to pay him. If we got to pay him, why don't we just keep him anyways and try to figure it out or see what happens? And he went scorched earth with it. He burnt all the bridges with Russ, and it's not all on him. Russ had his moments. He's done stupid shit. Like, there's been this back and forth with like the medical stuff. You wanted me to change my contract, but then them saying like, oh, we just wanted you to push it back. So certain things going back and forth with them, like that relationship is over. I think Sean Payton didn't like him from the get go. He's been trying to get rid of him. I mean, they benched him, so it's over with that relationship. And now they just need to bite the bullet and cut him, because why would I trade for Russ and take on all of his contract when I can get him for free, basically?
Yeah, and if I'm Russ, why would I do that to my new team?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to make you cut me. You're going to pay my salary. I'm going to make them pay me the minimum, and we're going to build around me. Like, that doesn't make any sense if I'm Russell Wilson to do anything else other than that.
And where do you think the best fit is for Russ right now? I mean, the Raiders are in the mix, the Steelers, the who else? The Falcons.
The Falcons. You could even. What about this? I know they just paid, Daniel Jones, but drop Russell Wilson in there. I think. I mean, because that division is so up and down, you might be able to make a run.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I think at the number that Russell Wilson's at, I would say no. I don't want this guy on my team. I think he's over the hedge. I think he can run a basic offense and make a few highlight plays here and there. But really, is he going to be like a game changer for us? I don't know. But at a veteran minimum, I will take this guy with experience who knows how to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And if I have a decent roster, if I think I have a 9-win roster, this guy could take me to 10 wins potentially. And that's the difference between keeping your job and getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would risk it.
All right. What about this? If you're the Panthers, would you take a look at it? I mean,
you can't. You made your bed with Bryce Young. You're gonna die in it.
Yeah, I just think
soon. It's too soon to pull the plug on Bryce.
One of those things where that's not your guy when you're Canales, right? You're stepping into this new role. It's not your guy. Hey, we could bring in Russell.
Guy.
Huh?
It's the owner's guy.
It's the owner's guy, but even he's so up and down, wishy-washy. Like, you can convince him, hey, we'll bring in Russ for 1 year. We'll have him mentor our guy, but realistically, you would know that's the kind of a death sentence for Bryce. And I think like everyone would be kind of fine with it. Like, I don't see Bryce succeeding in the NFL moving forward, if like just based off how he looked last year.
Based off on how he looked, and also based on playing for the Panthers. So
yeah, that's true.
Maybe he gets a second win in like another team in like 3 years, but I don't see it working in Carolina. But who knows? Okay, if we're gonna go that route, let's talk about another quarterback who's on the market right now, Justin Fields, because there's rumors of him to Pittsburgh, him to Atlanta, him to Vegas. I mean, if we're throwing out give up on Bryce Young, I would much rather have Justin Fields over Bryce Young right now.
But I mean, it's looking more and more like a Justin Fields trade is already done. I've sent you
right now. We're recording this on Wednesday afternoon, so
yeah. So it looks like there are context clues leading up to a Justin Fields trade. Someone released a video of Justin Fields in his kitchen, jumping up and down, really excited. Someone in the background can be heard saying, "All right, we're going back home." Cut to, there is another tweet that was then released that says, and let me pull it up so that way I have it all on deck.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields to Atlanta just makes sense. Don't bring up the Meek Mill, please. If you guys don't know what's going on with Meek Mill and Diddy, just use your Google, use your Twitter. We're not talking about it. I refuse to talk about it. You texted it to me earlier, and I'm like, we're not touching base on Meek Mill and Diddy. We avoided the whole Drake situation. We got through those weeks. We're gonna avoid the whole Meek Mill situation. That's another podcast for another time.
According to CJ Golson, who has 7,400 followers on X, per sources, Chicago Bears, Justin Fields is going to be traded to Atlanta. Sources confirm that the deal is done and that Fields is excited for the opportunity to be paired with a talented offense for the first time.
Damn. Well, first of all, shade thrown.
Shade.
But second of all, are we trusting this source?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I seen that video. The video itself, I think, shows that a deal might be done.
You don't think he was just watching a basketball game or something? He was hyped, or he won at Madden or something?
For someone to be like, "We're going home."
I don't know.
That's maybe the one thing that like gets me in that video. Like, yeah, he's genuinely pumped up, and people are like, "Oh, could this mean that he signed a deal? Like, they're gonna trade away the first pick?" I don't know why they would do that. Like, if we're gonna weigh options here, if you're the Bears organization, why wouldn't you move towards Caleb Williams? You would still get a haul for Justin Fields, who is a starting level quarterback in the NFL, and you'd reset your clock. You'd make sure that, hey, we're taking a swing at someone who we think is a generational talent. You got to go for it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, we've bashed Justin Fields in Chicago on this pod, but I just don't like him as a franchise quarterback in Chicago. If you put him in Atlanta, now he has weapons. Now there's a structure around him. I think trying to make him the franchise guy in Chicago while not building anything around him is what kind of is what made him easy to kind of push away. But now, if you take him to a team that has been building something, I mean, the wins haven't came, and we haven't really seen it on the field, but the talent is there. I really like Bijan, Algier in a combo backfield. London's there, Kyle Pitts. We haven't seen much from him, but he's talented, and maybe with a good quarterback, he can become what everyone thought he would be. I think everything is there. It's just the quarterback position. And he can go there and he could beat a Desmond Ritter. He could beat a Heineke. And he can use his legs and hopefully develop a little bit more as a passer to where this offense can be elite.
Yeah, and I think that's the detriment of being, you know what I mean, the Bears guy, because Bears fan tout him as this star quarterback, and he's not. He's just a starter. He's just a probably 25 to 17 rank quarterback, which is fine when you have talent around you. But being with the Bears, you're always, really scraping the bottom of the barrel. No one wants to go there in free agency. No one really wants to be drafted there. Like, would you be surprised? We're not going to get in this, but I mean, the rumblings that Caleb Williams doesn't even want to go to the Bears should be concerning to the team. But I mean, on this note of Justin Fields, like, I think that's where his downfall is like the Bears fans expected him to be a superstar, someone that can elevate and carry the team. And he's just a starting quarterback.
Yeah, and that's fine because I think he is in that 17 to 25 range, but in the right system on the right team, he could probably elevate to a 10 to 15, like just on his running ability, and he can make a lot of highlight plays. Like, I mean, Kyler Murray was talked about as one of the better quarterbacks in the league for a while, and I don't think there's much drop off. This might sound crazy. I don't think there's much drop off between Kyler and Justin. Now, Kyler has developed more as a thrower, and he can throw a deep ball. He looks good, but I think Justin does have a ceiling similar to that with his play style. And if he gets put in the right system, I think he can get up into that above 15 range.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, no. There's no fucking way.
Great. He runs great.
Kyler Murray
with a good offense.
Kyler Murray has always been superior to Justin Fields in every aspect of being.
No, he has. I'm saying.
And there's no way that Justin Fields can get to that point. He just doesn't have the talent. He doesn't have the talent. He doesn't have the skill. Kyler Murray was drafted 1-1. There's no fucking way that Justin Fields will ever equal up to Kyler Murray. He doesn't have the skill. Like, we'd be talking about him in such different light. He's going to be an average guy. And there's nothing wrong with being an average guy in the NFL because guess what? There's only 32 of those jobs to begin with. It's already a rare breed. But to say he's going to be on the level of Kyler Murray at any point is bullshit. I
think in the right system, he's an average guy. He's an average franchise quarterback. In the right system, he can be above average. Not saying elite, but with his running ability and the way the league's going, I think he can be an above average guy and hover towards that upper echelon. Not get into it, but hover towards it with his production.
You ever watch a Justin Fields game? Do you know how fucking boring it is?
Fucking Bears.
He's just not good though. Like, I mean, he's decent. He shows flashes, and that's what gets him to it. Like, he just doesn't. He has too big of a gap between a highlight making play and then just a regular check down. Like, it's just too wide of a gap.
I don't know. We agree to disagree on this one. You guys, I know Bears fans, you're on one side or the other. You want Caleb. You think Justin Fields is the truth. I could see Justin Fields becoming a really good starter in the league. So that's kind of where I sit.
He'll be a starter, period. Like, that's it.
I mean, look what happened with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield got in the right position.
Baker Mayfield went 1-1. There's no fucking comparing Baker Mayfield to.
You're acting like Justin Fields was drafted in the 5th round. I mean,
no, he wasn't. But Like there was no talk of him going in the top 10. Like that's
I mean, they talked about him going to the Niners at 3 potentially.
Kyle Shanahan would rather shoot himself. No way.
All right, well, you guys let us know in the comments how you feel about this Justin Fields situation. We obviously don't agree. Speaking of the 49ers, the defensive coordinator search continues. Just today, they're interviewing the Chiefs defensive back coach. They interviewed Brandon Staley. There's talk of like Chris Harris. There's talk of Jeff Ulbrich, the defense coordinator for the Jets. There's been a lot of names linked to this coaching search, which is weird because people were saying, well, if you fired your coach, Steve Wilkes, you probably knew who you wanted to hire. And it seems like they have no idea who they want to hire. And they're not also going for the Belichick, the Carroll, like the almost unattainable names. So, how are we feeling about this coaching search?
I mean, I think it goes to show you, like, they straight up hated Steve Wilkes. I think they couldn't wait to get rid of him. And honestly, they probably move off of him even if they win the Super Bowl. I think that's how fractured this relationship was. It doesn't seem like they had any direction whatsoever as far as where they wanted to go. I was thinking that they were going to make big swings because if you're going to move off of this guy that you had a defensive coordinator that ultimately you did end up getting to the Super Bowl with, you had to upgrade in namesake. You had to go for Pete Carroll. You had to maybe pull Richard Sherman out of your hat. You had to maybe get the winningest coach of all time, Bill Belichick. You've had to get Mike Vrabel. They've done none of those things.
Yeah, Richard Sherman, another DUI. Well, I don't know about another, but a DUI.
A DUI. Get it right. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Like, yeah. How long is he gonna last on TV? I don't know. Are we just forgetting that Richard Sherman was like breaking down a door to assault someone? I don't know.
I don't know, but all right, we're gonna talk about people who are pieces of shit. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a fucking huge piece of shit.
You're pulling that one way out. We were on.
I just have this on my mind. I've just been seeing this a bunch of Tyreek Hill news. He's a big piece of shit. Anyways, let's continue with this.
Yeah, the moral compass for the NFL is not there. But anyways, who are some good fellows that we can get for defense?
Never mind. All right, let's continue.
No, I want to hear this.
Remember when Richie Incognito tried to cut off his dad's head? And
we're
still played in the NFL.
All right, you shouldn't have brought that. We're getting flagged.
Yeah.
We're getting
anyways
from YouTube. You can't bring up that story.
I mean, remember when he bullied a guy?
Remember when Darren Waller did drugs? Every NFL broadcast with Darren Waller. No, I love Darren Waller. He's a great rapper.
Didn't he just put out a song about Kelsey Plum leaving him?
Did she leave him?
I think it was like, my girl trying to leave me.
She gets a couple rings and has to dip out.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
She looks at him and she's like, I won more than you. Fuck you.
Damn. You don't even play, honestly. But, yeah. Are we still talking about 49ers?
Yeah. All right, 49ers. I think it is, again, I think it was more of they just really couldn't stand Steve Wilkes. It really wasn't a fit. They wanted him off as soon as possible. And as soon as they offloaded him, they were like, what do we do now? Like, which direction do we want to go? Do we want to go back to the well and get someone who helps out the DBs? Do we want to make sure that we prioritize the defensive line? Do we need someone who's at linebacker can help out? I know that's something that Kyle Shanahan has come out and said during this search, like, hey, we would really like someone who really integrates with our linebacking core and who can kind of play the middle of the field and make sure that we're getting the best of that core. But, I mean, it just seems like they have no direction. I would have thought they were going to take big swings here. And it just seems like they're trying to get the next guy to pair with Kyle for 3 to 4 years and then get a head coaching spot.
I have a couple things. Like, is Kasarik never going to get considered for this job? Or is he never going to get considered for another defense coordinator job? Or we just settled on him being one of our position coaches?
He's come out and said that he doesn't want the DC spot. Like, he is fine with rolling with the D line. And I think if it was the case where he wanted the spot, he would have got it last year.
All right. My other thing is, why are the 49ers not searching college football right now? If you're not a head coach in the top 10, every head coach not in the top 10 right now is for the picking. Like, they don't want to recruit. We've seen Chip Kelly leave a head coaching position to go be a coordinator. Other head coaches leaving to be coordinators because it's less of a burden on them. I think this is the perfect year to go down, find the best head coach you can find who can run a defense and say, come be a coordinator. Your life's going to be a lot better and you're going to make a lot more money and you can come contribute to a Super Bowl level team rather than trying to find the NIL money to make your team relevant.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is it's such an unknown quantity when you're bringing someone up from the college level into the pros. Is the style going to work with these guys? I mean, we've seen, again, Chip Kelly. It worked for a little bit because it was new, but once that shtick gets done, it just really didn't fit in with what the all-star pro Super Bowl winning teams want to do.
I mean, all in all, I just don't want it to be Brandon Staley. If we get Brandon Staley at the end of the day, we might as well call it a season.
I mean, he had one good season with the Rams. Yeah. Defense looked good.
He shared the same air with Sean McVay and it's carried him.
The one thing is, of the guys, I know everyone's like, oh, the Chiefs guy would be really good. We'd get L'Jarius Sneed in here. Okay, cool. But we just seen with the DB coach and Steve Wilks, didn't really connect the back half of the defense to the front half of the defense and create a cohesive unit. Do we really want to risk it, again, running that back and having that disconnect between the pass rush and what we're doing on the back end?
Yeah, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see what they kind of decided. Kind of feels all up in the air right now at this point. Let's talk a little bit about these quarterbacks coming into the draft. The combine's coming up. Turns out Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are the only quarterbacks not throwing at the combine. How are we feeling about? I think Caleb Williams is more understandable. It's like, listen, you know what I've done on tape. It's basically set in stone. He's the top quarterback. But Jaden Daniels is a guy who's climbed draft boards. Some people have him 2, some people have him 3. I think I have him 5 on mine. So, how are we feeling about Jaden Daniels not throwing?
That's that I was like, okay, Caleb Williams makes sense. 100%. I wouldn't do shit during the combine. I would go there, I would talk to teams, and that's it. Jaden Daniels, what the fuck? You've had one good season, dude. Chill out. Like, when you left ASU, the team shit on you so hard. Like, you have to make up a bunch of ground. And I think that you could have really showcased yourself in throwing in just shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I wonder how many people went to his birthday party, but also if you're labeled as a mobile quarterback, you have to go out there and show you can throw. Like, that's what NFL teams want to see. You can't just rely on, well, I'm athletic. And I mean, we saw that you can run, but we also saw you look like a crash test dummy out there a few times. So we want to know that you could throw.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't get who's in his corner telling him not to throw at the combine. Maybe they are throwing the caveat, hey, during our pro day, we are going to put on a throwing clinic. We want it just to be in our controlled environment. And if so, that's 100% fine. But at some point, you're going to have to throw. I think it would really boost your draft stock to do that. I think I seen a tweet. Someone was like, oh, JJ McCarthy is set to throw at the combine. And someone was like, that's cool. We didn't see him throw at all in college.
All right, so at the top of the draft, how do you see it all falling right now? Do you think it's Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels?
So my one would be JJ McCarthy. Then
Stop, Jim Harbaugh. When did Jim Harbaugh get here?
No, it has to go Caleb Williams. I would say you would go Drake May if we're just ranking the quarterbacks, right?
Well, what do you think? Do you think the Commanders are thinking Drake May?
Yeah, I think that you're thinking Drake May. Then all right. So here's where Bo Nix and Michael Penix are falling off for me. And I think Jaden Daniels can really solidify being the third quarterback in this draft. And right now, I think we're starting to see the fall in the draft for guys like Bo Nix and Michael Penix. I think we're seeing teams not really gravitate towards these guys. They didn't really perform well in the Senior Bowl. They're a lot older than what you would like. Michael Penix has a history of injury, a significant injury in both knees on either one. Bo Nix, the system isn't really a NFL style of quarterback play that he does. So you can really kind of, if you were to Andy Reid take away all the screen passes and easy dink and dunks, what do you have left? Not really a whole lot to evaluate. So I think like this is where the prime season where a guy like Jaden Daniels can rise to the top of this draft.
Yeah, he's flashy. Like, I think if you're New England, you have to go quarterback, and you have to go quarterback that you think can change your franchise. And if Drake May falls to them, I think cool. I think if they want to go with Jaden Daniels, they can really be like, yeah, we have a new head coach, we get a new quarterback in here, he can run, and we think he can develop as a thrower even more. And you could really easily talk yourself into him being your franchise guy who can get to that next level. Not just your franchise guy who, like, yeah, we can win a couple games, sneak in the playoffs, Daniel Jones. Like, I think he can elevate into that next level. And that's what you're looking for in the first round. I mean, the other two guys, Penix and Bo Nix, yeah, they are starting to fall off. I think they're going to be solid quarterbacks in the league, but I don't see them really breaking out. Maybe Penix, if he gets somewhere he could just sit in the pocket and throw downfield. The guy that's really climbing up for me is Milton from Tennessee. I think he does bring some of what Jane Daniels has, but I think he is a pretty good thrower downfield. And if you can get him in the second round, third round, pretty good steal.
See, no, I think he's going to go real late in this draft. He just can't throw. Like, I mean, he has a fucking cannon of an arm, but realistically, he has the Colin Kaepernick-itis where he just can't do checkdowns. He can't do anything like shorter than X yards. And it's just tough. He doesn't have the accuracy and he can't take any off of the ball. Everything's a fastball.
You can teach accuracy now. You can teach accuracy.
Babe, wake up. New accuracy just dropped.
Also, Cooper DeJean not gonna do anything at the combine. He's just gonna do interviews and stuff. So,
which is fine with me. I mean, realistically, Cooper DeJean, I think, is, if not the top DB, one of the top DBs in this draft, and I think he's easy going in the first round.
How high do you think he ranks in jersey sales first season?
Oh man,
the first white cornerback. The first white cornerback in I don't know how long, like 20, let's say 30 years.
It's gonna go pretty high. I think I might even get one.
I think he might go top 10. If he gets in the right city,
he's nasty. Honestly, he's really good too.
Yeah, he's good.
Not just like the gimmick of like, oh, it's a white cornerback. He is a good corner, but he's probably one of either, if not the best, one of the best corners in this draft.
But like realistically, if he gets with the right marketing team, this guy could blow up easily. Like just off of, he's the first white corner in forever.
And I mean, I think again, he's going to be good. He's going to be really good. And if he just shows out his rookie year, yeah, he has a marketability that could go off the charts.
Yeah. Not saying because he's white, he's more marketable. I'm saying it's such an
anomaly.
Like, an anomaly in the league that it stands out. And if you can capitalize on that, I think he should partner with like Sauce Gardner, like do some commercials with him. Like really, I think he's going to be able to do some commercials. And then, why doesn't he team up with some Mustard? DeJean Mustard.
I think I would go a jean company like Lee's or something, Wrangler, and he's Cooper DeJean jeans.
Now we're cooking for him at this point. All
Yeah.
right, we're gonna shift over to some basketball. Steve Kerr signed a 2-year deal. I believe it was like over 30 million, highest paid coach in the league. So Warriors are back, right? Warriors are back. We're winning games. The
I think
youngsters are
that
out there balling. Clay is putting up big numbers on the bench. Chris Paul's coming back with a new hand.
uh,
It's,
the Warriors team was telling off Miles Bridges and the Hornets. Dude,
yeah,
I think that again, the Warriors had a real tough front half of their schedule. From here on out, it's pretty smooth sailing. I think that they did mess up not making a move at the trade deadline. Uh, I would really have liked to see just some kind of movement. We've seen that they did make a big swing, try to get LeBron James, and I think this Steve Kerr extension shows that there's going to be another big move in this offseason. They're going to take another big swing. I know they already came out and said that Giannis is their dream scenario. Maybe they can make that happen. But I think that no matter what, they are going to be swinging big and trying to partner Steph Curry with another superstar.
yeah. I'm not sure right now. Do you know if Chris Paul's contract is still ongoing after the season?
I have no idea.
Because
I
that's a
forgot he
key
was a part
piece.
of the team.
If he is still on contract, he is necessary to try and trade and move for another big star because you need to match that contract. So he's going to be actually a big part of trying to swing another superstar into probably like if you're willing to give up a Kaminga, if you're willing to give up, uh, I mean Moses Moody doesn't play as much, but he's a good young piece that could get traded. Um, I think it's Kaminga that is if you want to get a star in here, Kaminga's starting to perform. You're gonna have to flip Chris Paul or Wiggins and Kaminga to get someone in here. Honestly, I kind of want to stick with the young guns. Like Pojemski is looking like he's gonna be an all star someday. Like he's gonna be a solid starter in this league for a long time. Kaminga, he shows that he can be this number two on the team. He can score, he can play defense, he can rebound. Like I feel like he has all the talent in the world, and now he's starting to get the play time to show it. If Clay will take a big pay cut and come off the bench and play a mentor role, just accept it. Like you're not the same player. If you could come in, we want you to not dribble and just shoot 9 threes a game and hit 4 of them. That's fine. Draymond is playing pretty solid. Like everything is working for this team right now, and I think they have the perfect combination of Steph Curry kind of putting up a lot of points and carrying a little bit, all the role players fitting in nicely, and the bench, especially if Chris Paul gets back and is able to, run the field general role like he was, the bench is going to be key for this team because a lot of these other teams in the league are top heavy. If we get that second unit going with Chris Paul and Clay and Moody back there, like if there's a chance they can make a run.
Yeah, I mean, I think they win one playoff series. I think that's not crazy to
They were
say.
just up 16 points on the Nuggets. Like
Yeah,
they can compete.
yeah, I think that they have enough experience, they have enough talent. Again, I would have really liked them to make a big splash move or even a move in general during the trade deadline to bring in some fresh blood, but obviously that didn't happen. But I think this roster is talented enough to win one playoff series, which again would be a win for the franchise. But I don't think Steve Kerr is signing on just to win one playoff series. I think again they're going to be making a big splash play. Looking at it now, Chris Paul has 1 year left on his deal. It's non-guaranteed though. It is for $30 million.
Yeah, he's gone after this year no matter what.
Yeah. So
The Warriors right now 30-27. They're 3.5 back on the 6th seed. So something that I thought was not going to be possible at all. The way they're playing, I think they can actually get in there.
yeah, not have to do the play-in games.
Yeah, because we know if it's Lakers Warriors, who the NBA wants in.
Yeah.
It's about to be the Lakers.
Ugh.
Last thing we want to talk about today, a little baseball, because spring training's here, season's almost here. Ohtani hits his first home run as a Dodger. Over and under at 38.5 home runs this year. What are you thinking for Ohtani?
Under.
Under. You and
I'm going.
Haberman doing the same
I'm
thing.
going under. I think that they're going to pitch to him a certain way. I think that he is going to get superstar treatment in that they're going to try to pitch around him, but they're also really just stacked on the Dodgers. I don't know how you can do that. So I'm just gonna say under. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say under. What about you?
I kind of want to go over. I'm trying to see what his home run stats are. So last 2 years he did. The last 3 years, 46 home runs, 34 home runs, 44 home runs. I'm thinking this is the easy over. I'm gonna make money on that. I'm banking that for sure.
No, I think again, I think new environment. You're gonna get used to your spot in the lineup. I think he's gonna try to get on base more because of the bats around him. I think he goes under.
Nah, dude, it's LA. I think all those players are trying to hit 50 home runs. I think
Oh,
every single
fine.
one of them. They're just trying to bomb it. They don't care. They're not playing team ball. Superstars. Come on.
That's true.
All
That's
right,
true.
but the Giants should play team ball. I think Soler was a good pickup for the Giants. A lot of people I've talked to actually cautiously optimistic about this Giants roster that got put together, and I don't think they're done. Like a lot of people thinking another pitcher coming in. I know Blake Snell's still available. There's still a lot of good free agents, but
Yeah,
how are
I
we
mean
feeling?
they're all under the same agent, which is
Yeah,
fucking weird. I know Bellinger just signed to the Cubs. Blake Snell is still out there. I know he's flirting with the Giants, but he's also flirting with like the Yankees. So I think that they do the classic free agents don't want to fucking come to the Giants, but what they'll do is they'll use them as a bargaining chip and then get them as high as they can and then have another team match.
yeah, and I think I was reading this agent typically does this where he waits till the last second and then charges as much as possible to get his players a bunch of money, which I mean sucks for like our team because we're the Giants are usually at the butt end of that. But I think if how are you feeling about this roster right now? Because it's a lot of young guys. We still kept a bulk of our young guys from last year, kind of trimmed the fat with these higher paid players that didn't work out. And now it feels like, a pretty balanced roster right now.
It's sad to see guys like Brandon Belt and Brandon Rebelt, Brandon Crawford go. It's tough, but I would rate this roster as sneaky, not ass. Like, hey, we're creeping into the sneaky, not ass part, and I think that like we could get more wins than we were expecting. I was again expecting just all I wanted was baseball to be played, beers to be drank, hot dogs to be eaten. That was my expectation for this upcoming baseball season. But now I'm like, could we be competing for a wild card spot?
I
Who
would say
knows?
wild card. I would say we finish. Here was my prediction. Unless we add another pitcher, or another hitter, or something. Right now, I'm thinking third place in the NL West. I'm thinking 3.5 outside the wild card. That's my prediction.
Oh, okay. What would you be happy with though? Is that where
I'd
your
be happy.
happiness level?
I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with.
I'd
I
be
think
happy 7
this
games out a wild card. We competed at some point. Like that's cool. That's
this
my
Giants
expectation.
team has been really good about overproduction on like your expectations on these players. Like they've been overperforming a lot of these role players. And so now that we have, a couple guys in there that I feel good about, I think if we can get those overachievers and these guys do what they're supposed to do, I think it's a perfect combination for us to maybe sneak in the wild card.
I would like there not to be a collapse in the second half of the season. I just want there to be some glimpse of like if I squint the right way, hey, we could have had a wild card spot if X, Y, and Z. 7 games out would be fine with me.
There's not going to be as many weird Kapler rotations this year, too, like switching out guys mid game. Like it was a lot, and I think it worked to an extent, but as we could see, it did not work out in the long run.
No.
Are we doing the nine for nine challenge this year? Is the question.
No, that's a 999.
Are we doing a 999?
I don't know, dude. That's a lot. That's a lot.
So it's
And innings are so fast now.
Yeah, the innings are really fast.
So that's the thing. Like,
don't let them know what the 999 challenge is.
9 innings of baseball, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs. I don't know if I could do it. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I could do it.
I don't know if I think the hot dog's easy. Done. I got that. The beer is what's gonna kill me.
See, I'm the opposite. I think beer easy, hot dogs
Between
hard.
the two of us, we could do this.
I'll take your beer. I'll drink 18 beers. You have
you
18
take my
hot
beers. I'll take your wieners.
dogs. You chill, Meek Mill.
All right. Well, you guys let us know if you want us to do the 9-9 challenge. I think we should do it. We'll try to film a little vlog at the game sometime this season. But we have to go against each other. We can't come. We have to go against each other.
And also, like, what are the prices on these hot dogs?
What we're gonna do is we gotta bring in 18 hot dogs from outside the stadium because 18 hot dogs is my rent, dog. Like that's a lot of money.
Oh goodness.
And then okay, 9 times what are the beers like $24 now?
God, no.
So like 9 times 24, what's that?
We might have to just do this from home. We'll zoom in.
We might they put us on the big screen, zoom us in. 9 times 24. That's $216 of beer, my guy. Yeah, this might have to be a home challenge. Because honestly, too, like 9 beers, I'm gonna be trashed.
Well, also, like, what if I throw up? Yeah, like that's the from the hot dogs.
And then walking down the steps and then across the Embarcadero.
Trying to find an Uber or trying to get to the Muni.
No, I'm gonna ride a scooter and fall down. Like, no, I think you should just come over. We'll do 9 beer, but they have to be pints. Like, we can't do cans of beer.
The only thing, again, the innings are so fucking fast now, dude.
We gotta rip through those beers.
I know.
All right, I think we'll plan it. We'll plan that out.
All right.
Maybe we start easy with the basketball, like 4x4. 4 hot dogs, 4 beers.
You have to eat a quadruple burger each quarter.
Oh, they have the new double Big Mac.
Hold on. Before we get out of this, have you heard about Wendy's having surge pricing?
Yes.
That's some bullshit, right?
Dude, we're going towards a terrible societal situation. We're gonna have surge pricing on food. Video games are gonna be pay per minute by how much you play them. Yes, Bethesda's trying to do that. It's gonna be everything is gonna be priced, and everything's gonna have a tip me screen. It's gonna be like I played a video game. It's gonna be like, do you want to tip the creator? I'm like, no, I bought this video game for $70. Like, what the fuck?
That's so ridiculous.
Surge. Okay, what can you find any benefit of surge pricing for fast food?
No, but I seen this tweet. It was and I sent it to Sabrina, and she was like, "Ew," and it goes, "When I buy a Baconator on the dip, short the sandwich at 12.15, and then turn a 27% profit."
Bro, I don't want to be playing the stock market with my food. Yeah, these prices are ridiculous. The only one hanging tried and true, Taco Bell got new items on their $3 menu. They're looking fire. They're looking fire, dog. Actually, we gotta end this now because I'm gonna go to Taco Bell right now.
Rallies actually.
Did I get a thumb up?
Good pricing.
No. I'll blink that out. All right, we'll catch you guys next time. We got Ice Spice over here.
Be sure to like, comment, and surprise.
All right, subscribe. We'll see you guys later.
Later.